Part 2, because when I do videos unscripted, I will forget stuff. So thank you very much, Kenny. So as he was saying, 13 used to be loop momentarily after Marine Parade Terminal closed down, looping in the same fashion as 16, 76, 135, 155, and 55. And then 17 also used to be a loop. There are no changes to the route, but like the only change was like from a loop service to bidirectional, that's all. And then this one that I've highlighted, it's quite self-explanatory. So the very first generation of 28 was actually bidirectional. It was New Bridge Road to Tampines. And the thing about this route is that it pretty much like duplicated current service 2 all the way up till Upper Changi Road, and then it would turn into Simei Avenue and then Tampines Avenue 5 and then reach the interchange. And then obviously this one got withdrawn. And this, even I have a tendency to forget. So the current generation of service 28 and 18, both of them actually plied the exact same route. So it was Bedok Interchange Drive, and then North Street 1, North Avenue 3, and then Bedok Reservoir Road. Both of them would then go along Avenue 1 and then 2 until this junction. So literally, the only difference between 18 and 28 in the past is that 18 takes the shorter route. So 18 goes Avenue 7. And then 28, from Avenue 2, it goes up Avenue 9 and then Street 41, like this. That was literally the only difference between the two routes in the past. And obviously when 28, it ate up 152, it was no longer like this. They amended it to Street 45, 34, and then 32, like an enhancement. And obviously it no longer loops, and then it just goes all the way to Toa Payoh. So yeah, the older versions of like the current 18 and 28, both their routes, because they were quite short. That's why they could loop at Bedok Interchange, and Bedok Interchange parking space has always been an issue. That's why you had quite a number of services looping there, like 60, 18, 28, 69, and okay, I don't remember what else, but yeah. And to think that 18's route really like changed from the black line to become the blue line. I mean like this, and it was to concourse, I think. And then they changed it to become like this. So 18 has always been like the staple for like Avenue 7, and then they just changed it to Avenue 9, which made it resemble like 28 a little bit more, which was kind of wild, honestly. 53 now goes to Changi Airport, but back in the day, it looked like this. And then back to Bishan. This one is quite interesting because the route that actually resembled current day service 136 in terms of like the route dynamics from like Serangoon Garden Circus to Hougang area, that route was actually like the first generation of 156. It was Toa Payoh, and then like what I've mentioned, Serangoon Garden Circus. And then from there, it would apply Yio Chu Kang Road, both bounds, and then it will go on to like Hougang. Like area. If I'm not mistaken, this old 156 probably was a loop service or something along those lines. So this 136 was exactly the same except that it doesn't go to Toa Payoh. 136 goes to Ang Mo Kio instead. You know, this really reminds me of like 137 and 138. Because this one was like Toa Payoh to the zoo loop. This thing copied like 163 all the way up till Upper Thomson Road. Then it goes up Sembawang, then Mandai Road, Mandai Lake Road, and then loop. And then this one used to originate from Toa Payoh, but this one got withdrawn, and then this one now starts from Ang Mo Kio, which is like deja vu, I guess. Because the old 138 was actually Ang Mo Kio to Shenton Way. I think it was a peak hour. Is it a peak hour? Or maybe it only operated like weekdays and Saturdays only. But yeah, that one got withdrawn, and then they replaced like the old 137 from Toa Payoh with the current Ang Mo Kio to the zoo service. So yeah. Okay, but the difference is that 136 it actually used to like it used to terminate Hougang, and then they converted it to loop. I think it was 8, then 6, and then 10, like this, and then it goes back to like Ang Mo Kio. I'm pretty sure it was like this, and then they did away with this one, and then they just sent it up to loop somewhere around it was either here or like here, because this road didn't exist, and I'm pretty sure this road at that time didn't really exist either. Then obviously it got extended up, and from what Kenny mentioned, it actually when Pongo MRT opened, it I think it looped outside Pongo, and then when the interchange opened, it became bi-directional. That's what he says. So yeah, this one is another interesting one that often slips out of my mind. So I've mentioned in like the previous video that Service 77 used to use Camp Hawk Road to loop, but Kenny was saying that 186 looped in the exact same fashion. And 186 route in the past was actually okay. 124, instead of going to Newton MRT from Scotts Road, it actually goes to Stevens and then Whitley, then CJC. And basically the old 124, the older version of the current route, this one from Stevens and Whitley actually copies it's a carbon copy of 186 from this area to St. Mike's. So yeah, 124 was eventually I think it low-key had to do with the loss of like the old 125. Because 125 got integrated with, I mean so-called integrated with 20, and then the sector between Momin and Balestier, and then inside St. Mike's, that one got destroyed. So they sent 124 from like Scott's, Newton, and then they sent it to Momin and Balestier and St. Mike's to cover it. So yeah, and when 124 got amended away from this area, this one actually got extended to become bidirectional like this. This is one of the few cases whereby from a loop service, converting it to bidirectional actually works. I'm not saying it generally doesn't work, I'm just saying that like when you're converting a loop into bidirectional or a bidirectional into loop, you need to think of like what exactly are you doing, what's your purpose of like doing it, and how would it like affect the route dynamics or like the runtime of the service. And yes, I did bring up Clementi West Street 2 before. So yeah, now there is actually confirmation of that. So yeah, thank you so much. So historically, it used to be SBS 366, which I think loops inside Bukit Batok Depot. I mean SBS's bus depot. So yeah, I think it pretty much copied 189's route, and then obviously that thing, it became 189. No, sorry. He was saying when 189 was truncated from the CBD into a residential route, it absorbed 366 in the process. So yeah, this one is way more accurate than whatever I just said. So yeah, it looped at this one, because yeah, 282 currently it goes via Avenue 5 and 4, unlike the old 287, which goes directly to Clementi West Street 2. And then yeah, this one I've explained in the previous video already. Now for this one, the last one, I am going to give you the full route of 172. So yeah, this one, take note, it was actually Coleman Street, Hill Street, Victoria Street, Middle Road, Selagi Road, and yeah, this one pretty much just beelines. Cause Choa Chu Kang Road used to be one entire road, like until it got split into like Old Choa Chu Kang Road, Jalan Lam Sam, and then is it Jalan Lam Sam or something along those lines? But Old Choa Chu Kang Road and Choa Chu Kang Road, so it just beelines. The other bound is actually okay. The reason why it states Rochor Canal Road was because that road used to be bidirectional until Sungai Road was created. So it, if it existed now, it would be Sungai Road, Bencoolen Road, Sungai Road, Bencoolen Street, Bras Basah Road, Nickel Highway, Connaught Drive, Fullerton Road. So this one, it is kind of like 130 in the past, except that this one goes to Victoria Street, Middle Road, and then the other bound is actually Bencoolen Street, Bras Basah Road. So I mean, this one had like fragments of like the old 130 in it. So yeah. And then this one was eventually truncated to loop at Jalan Anak Bukit. Before it actually goes to okay, how am I gonna say this? Okay, then this one, instead of like going to Lim Chu Kang, it they tilted it down. Like instead of tilting it up to Lim Chu Kang, they tilted it down to Boon Lay instead, to reduce like duplication or stuff like that. Cause yeah, I mean literally, if you scroll down, there is like this one from Ewart Circus was like Beauty World. There was like this one, and then there was like this one as well. Yeah, so avoid duplication, I guess. So yeah, again, Choa Chu Kang Road used to be like just this one road, but obviously when this new town got built up, 172 got amended to become Choa Chu Kang Avenue 3, Avenue 1, Way, and then Choa Chu Kang Road. And then this one would go down and loop at Beauty World. And then the difference between this one and the 975 is that 975, I think it was like this. Why is Teck Whye Avenue a major road? I would never understand. I thought it was a minor road all along. So this 175, this generation of 175, which became 975, it looped at near Cashew MRT currently. I mean, where Cashew MRT is currently, and then obviously this one, they changed it to terminate at Bukit Panjang and then loop at Lim Chu Kang. So this one, yeah, this is 175, which is the current 975, and then this is 172. And then when Choa Chu Kang MRT opened, this one actually whoops, this one actually went up to serve Choa Chu Kang. It was like a small amendment, I think. I'm pretty sure in the past it used to just go like this. And then this one was just an afterthought. And the same thing goes to 172. It's like in the past the route was like this. So if you're wondering why currently it even goes along Avenue 1 in the first place, it wasn't really like intentional or anything. This one was just a remnant of history. So I mean it went like this and then it got changed to terminate at Choa Chu Kang instead. And then nowadays, yeah, it gives connections from its connectivity from this area to like this entire area. Before I forget again, the City Shoppers. So 580 was like Clementi Road, AYE, CTE, and then it would copy 175. And then it would loop at Orchard. It would then go to Suntec. And then after Suntec, before the road like reconfigure again. Why is this Sungai Road? This is Bras Basah Road. Oh my god. Okay, so it would go up Republic Boulevard, and then ECP was still a thing in the past, so it would go like this and then make its way back to Teban Garden. But that one was an exception. Okay, all the City Shoppers, they are loop services. I know that they have like A trips in the morning, because it's like in the morning there is like almost no one from the shopping district back to the residential estate, so they will operate as A for a period of time, and then after that period of time they would do the full route, the full loop back. So basically the A they terminated at like Suntec. Sorry, I think it was outside of Suntec City at Temasek Boulevard. That was the last stop for like the A's. But yeah, every single one of them they followed this pattern. So CTE, they would it's exactly the same as 518, except that this whole area, I mean this whole sector is like skip, and then it would call at Far East. And then because of congestion, they have to like split it. They don't call Tangs Plaza. They straight away call at Maritas Mandarin Hotel. I forgot what's the name of that stop. And then they would call Orchard Plaza, bus stop 8. Okay, so this is bus stop 12, then this is bus stop 8. And then it would call at McDonald House, which is after Dhoby Ghaut. And then this one would go along, just ignore Sungai Road, Bras Basah Road, and then Suntec. So every single one of them would be like that. And then there is a group of them that goes to Temasek Avenue, and then I think it was like the one that goes to Bedok and Tampines. Two of them that go to Bedok. Sorry, one of them that goes to Bedok South and North, and then two of them that go to Tampines. If I'm not mistaken, this one is sorry. This one was the Bedok one, if I'm not mistaken. 551 and 577, I think those go via CTE. This one is Bedok, I mean back. via CTE back. This one goes via PIE back. This one is like Bedok South and North. And then this one was Tampines. This one was also Tampines. This one is like bi-directional, and this one had like repeated stops. So yeah, it's kind of like red white plate in a way. But oh wait, no, 576. This one you actually needed like the red and white desto, because and this one as well. These two you actually needed the red white desto because uh the stops, those going towards the city, and then those coming from the city, I mean the shopping district, they apply the exact same stops. So you have to differentiate via the red white desto, I guess. But essentially, 575 and 576, they are like, they call the same bus stops for the forward bound and then the return bound because they want to take advantage of like this giant CTE and then back using PIE loop, just like in the same fashion as 518. In fact, these services, they were actually modeled after 518, especially this one, because in the past 518 actually went via not KPE but ECP Bedok South Avenue 1, Bedok South Road, Bedok North Avenue 1, Bedok North Road, and then Tampines Avenue 10, then 1, 2, 7. And when I mean 10, I mean it's like Bedok North Road, and then that junction of Avenue 10, and then Avenue 1, 2, 7. So yeah, as I was saying, for the city shoppers, there is a group of them that goes Temasek Avenue, Raffles Boulevard, Republic Boulevard, and then ECP back. And then there is another group of them, which is like the 551, 577, 579, 581. These four of them, Temasek Boulevard, and then exit via Rocha Road, Rocha Canal Road, Bukit Timah Road, and then it enters CTE in the same fashion as 851E. So just a little bit of history. The ones that entered CTE via Orchard Road in this direction, this one is 502 and 512. And then obviously 512, the Orchard bound, it is like this. Because it's a unidirectional service, like AM peak, PM peak. And then 502, it exits CTE. Oh, why am I using this color? Exits CTE, and then it uses the exact same road as 123 and 143, and then it goes to Boon Lay. That was 502. So those that enter via Bukit Timah Road, they are the city shoppers, as well as like, no, not night, but NITE, the Night Owl services by SBS Transit. Those enter via Bukit Timah Road, and then those entering via no, those that entered via Buyong Road to CTE, those were 501, and then 508, 511. The difference between 501 and 511 is that, okay, all of these, they did like that giant loop. CTE, Outram, Cantonment, Keppel, Anson, I think Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's Cecil, I think it's Robinson. Fullerton, Esplanade Drive. 511 would go from Esplanade Drive to Stanford Road, Orchard, Penang, which is Dhoby Ghaut, and then go back. But 501, before going to Stanford, it would actually go Esplanade Drive, that one small sector of Nickel Highway, and then Raffles Boulevard, Temasek Boulevard, Temasek Avenue, it would go Suntec, Raffles Avenue, and then Stanford Road. So 501, the loop is actually a lot bigger. Cause 511, if I'm not mistaken, this one was like bidirectional peak. It was like AM peak, PM peak. But 501 was like pretty much full day. And that's the reason why this one served Suntec. And then this 508, uh, it went to Sengkang. But this one, it didn't serve Suntec, if I'm not mistaken. It looked the exact same way as 511. I mean, you get the idea. And then there was this 501 hex. If it still existed today, it would be called like 501M or something. There was like a few ways to denote it. It was asterisk, hex, or M. I mean, M is the current one, I'm sorry. But yeah, instead of going to Outram Cantonment, 501 would exit Dhoby Ghaut. So CTE, Orchard, Dhoby Ghaut, MRT. And then it would just loop at Suntec. And then go back Stanford Orchard, Penang. And then Buyong CTE, go back. So this one was the one that functioned like 162 hex, something like that. It just exits CTE like differently. And when I was young, I actually saw 501 hex before. I didn't see 501, the one that has like double deckers, but 501 hex, I have seen it before, and it used 0405s. I believe I believe this one was like under Ang Mo Kio Depot at that time. I mean that, or like you're telling me Hougang Depot actually had a few 0405s at that time, which I don't think is like I I'm pretty sure that when I was young I saw an 0405 on 501 hex. And that was not 2006 because this thing was gone by like 2003. I'm pretty sure this one actually belonged to Ang Mo Kio Depot at that time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Unless you're telling me that this one is a super rare cameo, but I don't think so. I legitimately saw an 0405. It was a DM. It wasn't Walter Alexander PS. It was a DM. I saw a DM 0405 on 501 Hex when I was young. So that's a fact. I saw it with my own eyes. So yeah, that was just a little fun section, and the video. Oh, I should end it now. Bye.